So in this video, we are going to be solving another problem on the Carnot cycle. To watch the previously solved two examples on Carnot cycle, do well to look at the comment section of this video and you get links that will take you to those amazing videos. Now this question says 0.5 kg of air ID gas executes a Carnot power cycle having a thermal efficiency of 50%. The heat transfer to the air during isothermal expansion is 40 kilojoules. At the beginning of the isothermal expansion, the pressure is 7 bar and the volume is 0.12 meter cube. Determine I, the minimum and maximum temperature for the Carnot cycle in Kelvin. II, the volume at the end of isothermal expansion in meter cube. III, the heat transfer for each of the four processes in kilojoules. So let's pick out our parameters. First, we're given from the question, we're given 0.5 kg of air. So the mass was given there. Mass M equals 0.5 kilograms. And we were told that the isothermal efficiency is 50%. So isothermal efficiency was given 50%, which is equivalent to 0.5. We're also given that at the beginning of expansion, pressure is 7 bar. So initial pressure P1 equals 7 bar, which is 7 by 10 to the power of 5 newtons per meter squared. We are also given volume. Initial volume V1 is equal to, initial volume was given to us as 0.12 meters cube. We were told that the heat transfer to the air during the isothermal expansion is 40 kilojoules. So heat was given to us, heat transfer or heat supplied. QS, heat supply was given as 40 kilojoules. Okay, so which is about 40 by 10 to the power of 3 in joules. So the first question says we should find the minimum and maximum temperatures. So to do this, you recall from the equation of state, recall that PV is equal to mRT. Now we're introducing M because there is a mass given to us. This, if you keep the formula as PV equal to RT, we're going to be having the unit as joules per kilograms. So M here, the mass here helps us to cancel the kilograms. So we'll have our unit in kilojoules or in joules. So if we consider the states, for the initial state, then P1 V1 is going to be MR T1. From here, we can get our first temperature T1 to be equal to P1 V1 all over MR, where R is the gas constant and the value of R equals 287. That's molar gas constant. So this is going to be equal to P1 is given to us as 7 by 10 to the power of 5 multiply V1 was given to us as 0.12. Divide this by the mass 0.5 multiplies 287. So this implies that the initial temperature T1 is going to be equal to, so let's get the product of the numerator. So the numerator gives us 84,000 divided by 0.5 times 287. That gives us 143.5. So this implies that our initial temperature T1 becomes 84,000 divides that answer. So that gives us 585.4 approximately. So T1 is 585.4 Kelvin. So this becomes our first temperature. Now to get the second temperature, you recall the definition of isothermal efficiency to be equal to T1 minus T2 over T1. And this is equal to, isothermal efficiency was given to us in the equation as 0.5, that's 50%. So this is equal to 0.5. So if I cross multiply, I'm going to have T1 minus T2 to be equal to 0.5 T1. So this simply implies, let's send T2 over to this side of the equation and bring 0.5 T1 over here. So I'm going to have T1 minus 0.5 T1 to be equal to T2. Therefore, my second temperature T2 is actually 0.5 T1. Now I know what T1 is. So that becomes 0.5 multiplied by T1, which is 585.4 So this simply implies that my second temperature T2 is going to be equal to, so let's see, multiply by 0.5. So that gives us 292.7 Kelvin. 292.7 Kelvin. So this implies that the first temperature T1 is our maximum temperature and the second temperature T2 is our minimum temperature. Okay, so that's that for the first question. The second question says we should find the volume at the end of isothermal expansion. So this is our TS diagram. Let's just showcase that a little bit. This is our TS diagram for the Carnot cycle. Okay. Now this is state 1, this is state 2. This is the end of isothermal expansion. Isothermal means constant temperature. So this is the end because this is where heat is supplied, and during heat supply we have expansion. So the end is V2. So the end is at state 2. So we're asked to find V2, the volume at the end of isothermal expansion. To do this, you recall that for isothermal process, heat supplied is equal to work done. And the work done has an equation which is P1 V1 ln V2 all over V1. This is our equation for work done in an isothermal process. But then, what then is P1 V1? We already established that here. P1 V1 equals MRT1. So if we replace that into the equation, we're going to have that heat supplied is equal to MRT1 ln V2 over V1. So this helps us to find the volume at the end of isothermal expansion, which is V2, because we know V1. And we know the heat supply from the question. Heat supplied is 40 kilojoules, which is 40 by 10 to the power of 3 joules. So in place of heat, we have 40 by 10 to the power of 3 equals mass was given, or we simply know the value of MRT from here. Okay, we didn't compute that. Mass was given as 0.5. Arrow is 287, that's constant. The initial temperature T1, we'll have that here as 585.4. So we'll have 585.4. Now multiply by ln V2 unknown over V1 given to us as 0.12. Okay, so 40 by 10 to the power of 3 is going to be equal to, let's get all this multiplied together. So 287 times 0.5 times 585.4. So that product gives us 84,000 approximately. Right? So that gives us 84,000. Okay. So it's basically the same, 4.9 due to fractions, right? Ln V2 over V1. V1 is 0.12. Okay, so from here, let's divide by this figure. Divide 40 by 10 to the power of 3 by this 84,000, 4.9. So we're going to have 40 by 10 to the power of 3 divides 84,004.9. And this is going to be equal to ln V2 over 0.12. So let's get this ratio. So that gives us approximately 0.4762 equals ln V2 divides 0.12. So in order to remove the natural logarithm, we take the exponential of both sides, right? We take exponential of both sides. So if you do that, we are going to have that V2 over 0.12 becomes exponential 0.4762. Okay. So from here, we can find our V2 to be equal to, simply cross multiply, that becomes 0.12 multiplied by exponential 0.4762. So let's see what this gives to us. So this gives us approximately 0.19 meter cube. So this becomes the volume at the end of expansion, 0.19. So the final question says we should find heat supply, heat transferred for the 4 processes in kilojoules. Okay, so we can do that here. Let's simply take this off. So keeping in mind our heat supplied is given as 40 kilojoules. So for the 4 processes, let's also take this off. So the first process 1 to 2 is isothermal expansion. So for process 1 to 2, the heat supplied there remains 40 kilojoules. Isothermal expansion, it remains 40 kilojoules. Now from process 2 to 3 is reversible adiabatic process. Reversible adiabatic, so there is no heat supplied here. Rather, we have work done by the turbine from process 2 to 3. Constant entropy, work removal from the turbine. So there's no heat supply there. So heat supply there becomes 0. Process 2 to 3, heat supplied equals 0. Now from process 3 to 4 is heat removal from the system by the condenser. So this is done at constant temperature. Isothermal heat removal, constant temperature. Okay, this is constant temperature. Isothermal heat removal from the system, and heat removal is negative. So for that reason, for process 3 to 4, the heat supply there is equal to negative 40 kilojoules. Negative because it's heat removal, but for equilibrium it's the same amount of heat, but then it's now a reversed heat, it's negative. Then from process 4 to 1, this is process 3, this is process 4. From process 4 to 1, once again is work or compression by the compressor, compressive work done by the compressor. And since there's no heat there, it means that work is the heat supplied in that stage is 0. So process 4 to 1, heat supplied is also equal to 0 because it is only work that can be done here and no heat supply. So these are the heat supplied at the 4 processes for that particular question. All right, guys. So I hope you find this video very interesting and helpful. Please, if you do, I would like you to express your thoughts in the comment section, like the video, share, and of course, if you're new to the channel, do it to subscribe. I will see you in the next video with another amazing question. Thank you.